Hello guys, and welcome back to End All Wars with our Eastern Entente playthrough. In the last episode, towards the end, I went over everything that was happening this turn, everything I was doing, all my upcoming plans, but one region I forgot to touch upon, so we'll look at it now, is Serbia. How Serbia is doing. Well, the line being held here is very thin, but luckily, despite a Serbian defeat where we actually dealt over 2 times the casualties, the invading armies just left, so I guess we dealt them a pretty big blow because they're not here anymore. They're gone. There seems to be a lot of, I guess these are Austrians, but they look like Germans. A lot of these look like Germans, but I'm sure they're Austrians and Germans combined. Some of them have retreated from our battles and gotten into our territory, the most annoying of which probably being this one, because he's actually taken a town that, well, not even a town, just a depot away. So, I'm going to be pulling one of my Serbian armies off of Belgrade and using him for cleanup of within Serbia, thus weakening our force we have available. I took any real worthwhile units out of here, like there was a Mountaineer and I transferred it. I'm sending him right here, first and foremost, to reclaim the depot, and then he's going to go on a whole bunch of stuff over here. He's currently deactivated, so it's saying he's going to take a month to get there. It's going to take him 2 turns no matter what to get there. And then he'll be spending several turns, months, just cleaning this up due to the way time passes in this game. And that's going to be fun. But that's the Serbian front for right now. In 2 turns, we'll have to worry about Bulgaria. My defenses are lightening. The enemy's attacks are increasing. It's looking scary. And the battle continues in Stanislaw with... Come on, how is this guy a better leader than mine? I have more points. I have 1 more. Look, see? Otherwise we're the same. Whatever. The battle continues against an estimated 554 power, but a lot of bordering power. Just an insane amount. They want me to do an infantry assault, given the fact that, yeah, we have, twice as many artillery, twice as many cavalry, and way more infantry, but I don't trust these numbers. I believe that more reinforcements will arrive in the middle of the battle, so I'm putting that down to wave assault. And let's go to the battle. Yep, here we go. Here they come. Oh, God. Oh, it hurts to look at. Well, either way, this only actually worked for a single turn, and then it failed, and we went to a balanced deployment. Jesus Christ, 130,000 of them, with 10,000 cavalry and 700 fucking artillery. I had the same amount of artillery, actually. We lost the same exact amount. They lost 5 times the cavalry that I lost, as we can see, roughly. I lost 333, they lost 1,531. They had about 3,000 less than me. I lost 26,650 of my infantry. They lost about 6,000. So, more losses than I'd really want to sustain. This is still a very large amount of losses, especially for how well my KDR has gone, this whole time. But I guess it's not too bad, really. But, just seeing those losses hurts. Even if we take out this many troops, it's still a great victory, though. We killed 10,000 more of them than they killed of us? That's good. Their plan failed on round 3-2, and this is a long battle. A lot of our battles don't even get past the first round. This went 6 rounds on day 1. That's insane. And it's a Russian victory, so that's always good. Lots of movement going on around here as I'm redeploying entire armies right now. And you can see so many German, support troops running around behind my lines, but also a German corps was running up to one of my forts behind my lines. That's interesting. I saw it last turn, I didn't have anything to send there, really. So I didn't think much of it. And it's time for another battle. A battle in Kilis, where only one of our units has actually shown up for the battle so far, but I'm sure reinforcements will follow. It wants me to do a strong flanks deployment. And I see why, because we don't have an infantry advantage with the current thing that is here. We have some cavalry. That's an advantage. We have less artillery, the same amount of infantry. I think I'm going to play this safe and just pick a balanced deployment right off the bat. I think that's what I'll pick. And then we'll have reinforcements show up. We ran into like an entire army corps here. A good amount of men. So let's hope this goes well. And yep, the rest of my forces did show up. It was a Russian victory, but our KDR, not so great in this instance. It only lasted a single round. But in that round, we lost 7,790 units, and they lost 5,330. They had, God, a whole 65,504 units. Where'd they even get that many? That was like no one here a moment ago. Must have also been from this. Yeah, actually, no, I think this just ran away, like, right now. But that's really weird. And now in Kielce, another battle. Oh, this is where I had just gone and regrouped, like, all of my units. A random Austrian leader showed up, and it seems like he's by himself, but I see... Weird. Why would he come here by himself? And they want me to do an infantry assault. I mean, of course, look at this guy's army. It's nothing. But even if he has friends, like, there can't be that many friends. So let's just go with it and see how it goes. Okay. He really did just show up here by himself with a singular army corps. Although it was a big army corps. 53,636 fucking men. Jesus Christ. That's a lot, yeah. But we attacked and we lost 5,740 men. Well, we defended, but you know what I mean. We lost none of anything else, and they lost almost twice what we lost. 10,045 infantry, which is like 1/5 of his force. 130 cavalry and 24 guns. That's good. That helps offset the badness of that last fight, even though they've all been considered victories. And now a battle in Rawa Ruska, where once again I'm glad I'm just staying on the defensive, because they just keep throwing their units at me. Hopefully not throwing anything at me over here where I'm trying to go on an offensive. You want me to do an infantry assault? Let's see. I have 40 to their 30 infantry. I have 5 to their 4 cavalry. I have 14 to their 10 artillery. This isn't so overwhelming, buddy. Plus, there may be more forces on the way. I'm going to tone that down to a wave assault. Seems we use the same tactics all the time, you know? We don't always have a lot of options. There's a static defense too. Oh god, but we don't have the kinds of artillery required to really pull stuff like that off. So I'm going to go with that wave assault. We're the Russians, man. We got to play our strengths where we have them, and where we have them is in infantry. So let's go ahead and proceed with a wave assault. Oh yeah, that blew up like crazy. In fact, they ended up with more troops than we ended up with, and this turned into a Russian defeat. We were outnumbered so greatly by almost 100,000 men. It was only a 2-round battle, and there are insane losses in this battle. That hurts as a Russian defeat. We're probably going to lose a morale point because of that. We got pushed out of Rawa Ruska completely. That's insane. And we didn't even, well, we did lose a lot of troops. We lost 11,275 infantry to their 16,500. So we got a better KDR there. Cavalry, we lost 961 to their 264. That's unfortunate. We lost 18 guns to their 30. That's good. We were outnumbered again in every single way. But add on to this, they seem to have had 48 tanks, of which we actually killed 12 of them. These are tanks, right? I'm reading this right. They have tanks. And they have armored car brigades, 240 of which they had. And we killed 60 of them. That's really, truly insane. I'm wondering what the hell these 48 tanks could be, because I'm not seeing any. Unless I'm just missing them. It may be the howitzers, but I don't know. Either way, that sucks. The only reason that's a defeat and that we got chased out is because of how outnumbered we were. But we still got a better KDR, at least a little bit, which is nice, but we just lost Rawa Ruska. We have a single militia just sitting there now, which has stopped them from taking the location immediately, at least. But ow. Ow. That hurts. And we have another battle. Oh my god. The Battle of Tarnopol. Now this one went great. I made it so we assaulted the moment we arrived. I didn't want to do a siege because as far as I was aware, I believe this was just a city. Okay, it had a depot too, but it's not really a defensible location. It's not a big city. It's just a depot, no fort. So I assaulted the moment we arrived, essentially. So here we are. Oh, the SARS air fleet. Really? Okay, well, it's a 6-round battle. Is that like the longest a battle can go? I don't know. But they had an infantry division there of about 14,000 men. And we fucked it up, guys. Somehow they shot down some of our recon planes. And that's all they are recon planes. We lost 2,070 of our men. 152,000 units. Okay, that's a good army, yeah. They had, almost 14,000 units. They lost 12,607 of them. 195 cavalry, all 36 guns. Their infantry division that was there, completely wiped out. That wasn't even a militia. That was an infantry division with artillery and everything. Completely wiped out. That's good. That's good. Our KDR this turn is great, in fact, and our total overall performance is amazing. Yet, still, even with that performance, we lost ground at Rawa Ruska. We may have captured another place to make up for it, but Oh, well, the battle continues at Tarnopol because there was other infantry around nearby. We only lost 410 of our infantry, and we killed 7,380. So, amazing. More amazing results. Man, I'm glad something went well. Well, honestly, everything went well except Rawa Ruska. In terms of kills, again, you'd think we did pretty well, but we did poorly enough to be chased out. So the great performance of our generals aside, our terrible generals, we still got chased out of the area. And the Serbians are under attack again. I haven't touched on this, but this unit almost got completely wiped out. Its cohesion was bare minimum. It was abysmal. His effective power was nothing. But we have this force recovered nearby, so I decided to hold on, just in case. And now we see more amazing performance. Let's start with the smaller numbers. 228 artillery, of which we lost 6. To their 144, which they lost 18. 2,528 cavalry, of which we lost 32. To their only 768, of which they lost 3 times as much, 97. 119, almost 20,000 men, of which we only lost 871 in this defense, involving these 2 army corps here, which have been heroes. They've done amazing this campaign. He attacked with 25,212 units, and he lost almost the entire fucking stack. 24,753. Astounding. I only wish we could get performance like this up against the Austrians up north, where we actually have the manpower to attack back, rather than here where we're just barely holding our own lines. But that's amazing performance, a Serbian victory. I wonder how the morale points are going to look after this. Amazing that Rawa Ruska is still technically in our hands, but next turn they could easily flip it back. We'd have to do an offensive to try to take it back, but we're not going to get there that fast. They pushed us to a location that doesn't have a railway, so that puts us in a weird situation. Alright, so reviewing the morale points, we gained 1 after winning this Battle of Stanislaw, which, the ratio wasn't the greatest, but we actually gained a morale point from that. Another battle. We lost the battle, did not lose a morale point there. And finally, the Serbian battle, we gained a national morale point. So the morale points were nice to us this turn. Despite our loss, we actually gained 2 national morale points from battle. Well, we still lost 1 from war weariness. The 1 we gained, the extra 1, actually not only recovered us, but it made us go up a morale point from where we were last turn. Alright, the time has come. It definitely, as we see, the Western Entente has acquired Greece. We are not going to be acquiring it. But their units are now spawned in on the map. They are in the war. They are with the Western Entente, so they are our friends. I don't know if they can move through our territory. Probably not. But Bulgaria has joined the war as well, and the Central Powers. I knew playing the Eastern Entente would be the weirdest thing for multiple reasons. I didn't know the half of it, really. I didn't realize that Serbia would be considered part of the Western Entente, alignment-wise, and that if I tried to get rid of their rebels, I would actually just get rid of Western alignment and waste my victory points. I didn't realize we would literally get no one, but I did realize that it was only going to be half the experience, which is why I wanted to get this one out of the way first, so that I could use it as a learning experience, especially since, you know, the Eastern Entente they're the losers. They're the first losers of World War I. Anyway, that aside, we can see the war has expanded. I expect Bulgaria very much to just start marching into Serbia and taking all this land, and there's really nothing I can do about it. I can only really recruit a couple more types of units now, infantry and mountaineers, only at Niš and only at Belgrade. So, yeah, not a whole lot that I can do about that. This unit is now one turn away from arriving here if everything goes according to plan, and hopefully we'll take this back from them, because they have just these very small divisions just running around behind us after they've lost and then ran away into our territory. I have this mainly militia unit. It also has a field artillery regiment. The only reason I really put that there is because no one else really had the required command points to house it. I figured they might need it. I mean, usually every infantry has field artillery anyway, but militia don't. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for Serbia to collapse in on itself and for us to just lose all of this, basically, and just come down to Russia, which, quite frankly, I am learning more and more after playing this. That's what the Eastern Entente is. The Eastern Entente is Russia and just Russia. Serbia is a weird, poorly designed, buggy addition to the Eastern Entente, only seemingly done so for historical reasons. That being said, we're getting some nice results out of them. I do hate how their attacks on Serbia are constantly focused over here instead of at Belgrade, where I have better and more defensible things going on and more troops and everything. But the good news is, these two armies have actually done so well, better than any army in the game so far, in terms of gaining seniority. I can actually give both of their leaders promotions. That means this set of 2-star leaders are about to advance to 3 stars. I don't know if that will improve their stats at all, but hey, 3 stars is 3 stars. I believe that will no, maybe not. I don't know if that increases their potential command. I don't really know what it does. Not gonna lie, I don't really know what it does. But I know it can only be an improvement, right? I mean, theoretically. So we can only hope that our AI Western Entente overlords are not kind enough and powerful enough to use Greece to their own advantage and push against Bulgaria so Serbia doesn't get kicked in the ass, and then use them to push on Constantinople while their attacks over here continue. I don't know how well they're continuing. I don't know what their supply situation's like or anything like that. But I know that it's continuing. And hopefully it continues well. Now let's shift over and take a peek to see if anything interesting is happening. No, not in Africa. Nothing in most of the Ottomans. Nothing in Asia. Over here, we're still dealing with the Ottomans. I'm moving this corps back over now because we chased out the unit that was here. There's one over here, but there's nothing a single division can really do to me back here. Except maybe, like, take this, but shrug. I'm not too worried about it. Looking back at the Western Wars front, a lot of the pillaging is done, so I feel like a lot of the troops the Central Powers have cleared out of this area. The Swiss have even retaken this area, I believe. I don't believe they had this much control over this region until now. There is Besançon here, a size 4 city that is currently under siege by the Central Powers. So the Central Powers are still mounting an attack over here, at least somewhat. I'm sure it's going just as crazy as it is over here. Not that I can see to make me feel any better. I'm taking this entire force that has captured Calais as I wanted them to, and I'm railing them back to Pultusk to try to intercept this army corps that is coming after our land and I don't know, just recuperate in our own territory as well. They are all deactivated, so I can't put them on the offensive to guarantee an engagement or anything. So I just kind of have to hope that they get there before he does an attack, or if he does an attack that's not successful. We're currently building a militia unit here, and otherwise there's a militia unit sitting on a magazine. Which doesn't sound like something that you want them to get their hands on. Up in Eastern Prussia here, our units are recovering nice and well over here in Wehlau. A lot of the Germans over here have kind of cleared out because they've headed south. We have our forces unified here at Dorbieni. I hate these names. I'm going to proceed up here with my march on Memel, which may not go very well because I am crossing a river. I'm also leaving one of my units on the offensive. Which one? One of these was on the offensive. He's not anymore. Must have fucked something up. Put you on the offensive. So we can potentially engage this infantry division while we're marching, because it's going to take like the whole turn to march over there anyway. It's going to take 14 days because of certain activation limitations. They have so few troops over here defending the location, even including extra units that we're not seeing on top here, that my HQ alone could realistically overwhelm them. Throw in the Finland armies and then this other army corps that's filled with cavalry, and I think we have a good chance of winning. Maybe we take a couple extra losses, but the amount of losses we've been dealing is just insane. Let's take a look. Also, I'm putting the final research in, so that's where all my money went this turn. But I feel like we've been doing pretty well. We are at about 380,000 losses ourselves. Our morale is at 97. Again, it went up. The Central Powers is down to 87. The Western Entente is down to 85. I hope we have the better part of lowering the Central Powers' morale this turn, anyway. Everything else is staying pretty stagnant in terms of VP gain, total VP, the situation there. Losses are, of course, increasing on both sides, with about 1.4 million lost men on the sides of the Central Powers and 824,000 on the side of the Western Entente. Again, we're winning that KDR game, so I'm hoping Western Entente's doing pretty well as well. Clearly, we just need more manpower or smarter, friendly AI, because I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they are not making any offenses whatsoever. In fact, both of us have lost land to the enemy. We've gained some, but in terms of the Western Entente, they've only gained land that has been handed to them via an event. All of this is stuff they lost, and they haven't really gained anything. They did gain Freiburg at one point, but they lost it. So whatever happened there was short-lived. We gained land over here, but we're about to lose a bunch of Serbian territory. We've still lost parts of Poland, but we have made a little thrust into Austria, literally a thrust, on their eastern front, which is nice. But that's about it. We're kind of half and half. Oh, I guess we just took over Tarnopol, well, the surrounding countryside. We don't actually have the location yet, so I'm putting this army back on the assault to hopefully, take it in this turn if we can. I'm just going to hold position down here and let my units recover a little bit, rather than just, instantly marching on Rawa Ruska again after getting kicked out of there, Maybe give them a chance to clear out before we move, or just move in another direction. I plan on holding position over here at Kiel so long as this other force is here with us, and just letting them do their own thing, attack us, leave us. They like to attack us, even when it's not very good for them to do. Italy is 3 or 4 turns away from joining us. Romania has actually been getting closer to the 50% mark, which is nice, because the last thing I need is Romania getting involved now that Bulgaria is. But now I know that if Romania does join, it's the Western Entente that's going to get Romania. So I'm not as eager to have them join, but really, every country that joins us is one more set of manpower to make this easier, especially to make up for the fact that countries are joining the Central Powers, like Bulgaria. That's a problem right there. Everyone else is pretty much staying fairly neutral. So the closest other person to actually joining the war is Italy, and there's no one that even comes close to joining the war after that. And hopefully it stays that way for a while, unless whoever joins the war after Italy wants to join us, of course. Because this war is just so immobile right now, and it's just so much of a war of attrition, and I'm seeing so little progress on the side of the Western Entente, I feel like the Italians could be a real game changer for them. I know they're not as good as France and they're not as good as Britain, but it's Italy. They're still important in World War I. In World War I, they were a pretty stand-up military. Not in World War II, but in World War I. And they could easily be thrust into Switzerland to push into Germany. They could easily start pushing into and fighting over Western Austria, which is very fortified, so they probably wouldn't make a lot of progress, but anything to distract these units. Can you imagine how undefended the border with Italy is right now? Can you imagine what it would be like if the Italians joined the war to actually help us? It would probably make a load of difference. It would probably get so many Austrian units, maybe even German, off of my back as they start to redirect themselves. 3 or 4 turns. I'm going to say 4. Cross our fingers and just hope that we see those kinds of results. But that's a full turn here. So I'm going to hit next turn, and we're going to see the results of this turn. Okay, guys. Well, I'm actually going to end this episode a little early, a few minutes early, because I did the battle results for this turn, and it took like half an episode worth of time. There was so many battles. It was the most insane turn of battling yet, and I can't wait for you to see it. But for now, we're going to end this here. And, oh man, give me your thoughts, guys. Update me. What do you think? How do you think this is going? Thank you guys very much for watching. And I hope you are as excited as I am that you see this next turn, because this is going to be insane. Have a good day, guys.